Well, tonight we continue looking into law enforcement suicides, a troubling trend across the country.
News 4's Luke Moretti introduces us to a faith-based organization here in Western New York that's using the Bible to help with officer wellness.
The stressors of law enforcement work can take a toll over time.
More officers kill themselves than are actually killed on duty. And it's only increased over the last 5 to 8 years.
And while underreported, the numbers are sobering. According to bluehelp.org, which tracks law enforcement suicides, it's around 125 and counting so far this year, 175 last year, and nearly 240 in 2019.
The things that we see as police officers just keeps accumulating, and you need a way to release that. You need something that you can do.
Steve Ritchie has his own struggles. The retired Lockport cop suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. It stems from being shot on the job in 2003.
Initially, when I survived and woke up in a hospital, I knew that I had gotten a miracle from God, but the next several years, it was a big struggle for me.
He spent 2 years in recovery and then worked another 10 years before PTSD got the best of him.
For me, like the smallest little thing would set me off. I mean, I'd start yelling and it would be over the top yelling.
And the nightmares, he says, continue today, reliving the shooting over and over.
For a long time, I wondered why. God, why did you spare me? Like, why? I'm not any more special than anybody else who goes through this trauma.
There was something bigger going on. His faith, he says, pushed him in a new direction.
What led me here was God.
And here is the OpOverwatch ministry in Niagara County. It is here where the overall life picture of the law enforcement community is nurtured with a biblical approach. Dave Buds is a Buffalo FBI agent and executive director of OpOverwatch, which launched in 2019.
We don't want to just make an officer feel loved and feel valued. We actually want to love them and value them and equip them in how to live life outside of the smothering of a singular identity that right now is being pounced upon.
And that includes the health and wellness of law enforcement officers from across the region. Ultimately, both Buds and Ritchie, who met years earlier in Bible study, say it's about relationships.
That's the whole thing that we cultivate in OpOverwatch is relationships amongst community and amongst law enforcement that are transformational. And we believe the ultimate transformational relationship is with Jesus. So that's the end. If they want to hear it, that's what we bring to them. Now, if they don't want to hear it, guess what? We're still here for them. Yes, absolutely.
That was one of my questions. Like, if somebody's like, I don't get the whole God thing, but I can use, like, somebody to talk to.
Yeah, come here. We'll feed you. We'll take care of your family. We'll watch a movie together. We'll hang out. Yeah, yeah. Everything's available. Everything's available to anyone in law enforcement.
Steve Ritchie says the OpOverwatch approach is catching on with local law enforcement agencies.
I mean, locally here, we're having chiefs reach out to us about this organization, about bringing us in. So that's a good sign to understand that things are changing. They need to change a lot more, though.
Unfortunately, when a law enforcement officer reaches out for help with their administration, a stigma is attached to them that they now have a mental health problem.
Actually, Buds believes it's healthier to seek help as opposed to holding it in and then doing nothing.
They have to understand that there's an identity that comes outside of this badge that we wear that they can dive into that offers so much more in life and makes this trauma less.
Police officers are a very close group because we don't trust other people outside of our group because we see the worst of worst, and you get very cynical about everybody else. Great thing about this organization is that there's so many people outside law enforcement that are supporting it, and I can't tell you how that makes me feel personally, being just to show that love, to see that love, like, wow, this is really, like, because that wasn't the case when I worked, like, I thought everybody hated us, you know, and then you see the response from people, it's like, oh my gosh, you know.
Luke Moretti, News 4.